I know that the House of Yes is a place inside, and that's why I'm so passionate about building a House of Yes. I consider myself extraordinarily fortunate to live in a house, in a home, surrounded by incredible love. Whoa. And when static happens in my house, as static often does, when fear happens in my house, as fear often does, as sadness happens in my house, as sadness often does, I choose to remember to say yes anyway. That's my choice. And that's why I like to surround myself with people who are also making that same choice, knowing that from time to time we all forget, and we all get scared and get broke or lonely or whatever it is that tears us away from yes for a while. But if we surround ourselves with people who are affirming yes, if we live in a house that has yes penetrated into the walls as the vibration, it penetrated into the foundation of the house, then it lifts me up, lifts us up. In his very important book, The Road Less Traveled, psychiatrist M. Scott Peck wrote, "Life is difficult. This is a great truth, one of the greatest truths. It is a great truth because once we truly see this truth, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand and accept it, then life is no longer so difficult. Because once it is accepted, the fact that life is difficult no longer matters so much." This week I went to a rally at Sunset Square in support of the trying to defeat the anti-abortion law in Texas. And as spiritual director of the Celebration Circle, I'm not allowed to have an official political opinion on that, to speak from the microphone. But I was there anyway to bear witness to what was, and I was really saddened by how many people were standing outside the rally to protest it with looks of such intense hatred and anger. It just broke my heart. It almost didn't matter what the issue was to me. That people could find a way to be so angry at each other over differences in belief continues to amaze and sadden and scare me all these years later. And that's just the way it is. People are going to be mad. People are going to fight. People are going to disagree. And I choose to take the stand of the intelligent optimist, which also happens to be the name of a magazine, which I love and endorse wholeheartedly. But the stand of an intelligent optimist is to say yes to life, hearing the resounding no at all corners. The stand of the intelligent optimist is to realize this is a perilous time for humans on the planet. We do stand at the brink of disaster, and there's always hope. And as we co-create new possibilities, anything could happen. And the intelligent optimist says, I don't know, but I say yes anyway. I don't have an answer to the mystery, but I choose to continue on in the purpose of my dreams, of my calling. My calling is for that yesness, that moreness, that bigness. I don't know what yours is, but I'm here to bear witness to that calling. And to remember with Viktor Frankl in his groundbreaking book, Man's Search for Meaning, written in the aftermath of his long internment in the concentration camps of the Nazis, when he had seen the most horrible circumstances of life crush millions of his fellow Jews, but he had also seen the most horrible circumstances of life serve as fertile soil for real rich growth and human kindness and compassion among his fellow Jews in those same camps under those same conditions. And he asked himself, why did millions die and some continue to thrive and love? Why were some crushed under the Nazi boots of darkness? And why did some continue to see the light? And his book, Man's Search for Meaning, is all about that central question. And part of the answer lies in the name of the book itself. In English, it's transcribed as Man's Search for Meaning. In the German, it's Trotzdem Ja zum Leben sagen. Trotzdem Ja zum Leben sagen. Yes to life despite everything. Yes to life despite everything. And probably the best known quote from this book is, everything can be taken from a person but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Everything can be taken from a person but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. I saw that again this week in the attitude of my friend Nell Grover, who is in her last days of life. At age 89, the cancer has come back, and she's at home hospice and bedridden, can barely grasp a few breaths at a time, and yet is choosing to be joyful and peaceful. And she's lived a difficult life. She's buried 2 husbands. She was a journalist and came from a combative stance for much of her life. And in this last couple of years of dealing with cancer and dealing with that inevitability of death, she has finally, in these last couple of weeks, come to such a sweet, sweet place. It is a true honor and a joy to be by her, even as she's taking her last breaths. And I wonder aloud with her, why did it take so long? Why did she have to live those first 88 years from one stance and then come in the last few weeks to this stance? And isn't that the invitation we're all coming to? How can we now, in the fullness and richness of this moment, choose to say yes to whatever circumstance we're facing and develop that as an habit? To truly live in a house of yes, surrounded by walls of yes, and a foundation of yes, and a roof of yes, and windows of yes. Patty Cooper is really exhibiting this spirit very well. I mean, she was clearly led by Spirit to move to Yarnell, and she was clearly led by Spirit to invite her father to move from Colorado in with her into this wonderful house they found on the hillside overlooking Yarnell, Arizona. Paradise. Just perfect. And then when it got burned to the ground and every single thing they had except the clothes on their back disappeared with it, she still is choosing not to worry, not to fret, but just to be grateful for the incredible generosity of the Salvation Army coming by with water, of neighbors coming over to offer a shower or a hand shoveling through the ashes. That's what she's choosing to focus on, not what she lost, but what there is in the ashes of her life. And I choose to remember this morning the power of responsibility, of taking the ability to respond as my responsibility. My primary responsibility as a human is not to be a victim of circumstances, not to be at the effect of what's happening to me, but to choose my ability to respond as my primary responsibility, an ability to respond with love and with joy and with hope. And yes, I know that's way much easier to say than to do. But that's why we're here to say it to each other. That's why we practice in the context of singing loving songs and moving poetry and breaking bread and hugging before, during, and after the service. We're practicing together so that we can build that muscle of responsibility. The football team is out there practicing already for the football at Brackenridge High School, which is just a couple of blocks from here. First thing in the morning over there, that direction. Yeah, that's where they are. It's only July, and they're already out there doing drills and stuff. But they need to. They need to because they're going to drill and drill and drill for months so they can play 11 games. But they drill for those months and drill for hours and each day and each week because they're building a team responsibility, an ability to respond to whatever the other team throws at them. You know, whatever happens out on the field, they've got a plan for it, and they've got a focused ability to respond. And that's the same thing we're doing here this morning. That's the same reason I choose to sit in my meditation chair every morning and to stand here in front of you, scared to bear witness because I know so far from my goal myself. Thinking, who am I to stand up here talking about responsibility and house of yes when I cave into no so often? And the only answer is that I come up with it, I am who I am, and this is what I have to offer. That continuing willingness to stand for myself and to stand alongside you and you and you and you as we choose to move mindfully through life. An integral part of this process is not just to choose to be present and to respond from a place of peace and love, but to choose to be grateful for the opportunity too. And that gratitude is an important part of this process. It's easy to overlook. It's easy to get there just to the place of, okay, I'm going to deal with it as peacefully and as powerfully as possible. I'm going to do it. I've even seen this reflected so many times on the meditation cushion. People come to meditate, and I'm going to be peaceful. I'm going to be peaceful. You know, and you can just see it. You just see it. I've led so many meditations over the years, and you can see people, I know this too well. You meditate, and you start to get drowsy. You wake up, oh, I'm going to be peaceful. I'm here to meditate. Instead of, and notice the difference in the posture of, oh, I fell asleep. Oh, I'm here again. Oh, I'm grateful for this opportunity to remember. Gratitude for the opportunity to remember after having forgotten. Because we forget. We do forget. That's the human condition, is to forget again and again. The divine condition is that we get to remember again and again and reconnect to the wholeness and the goodness. There will always be problems. Pain is mandatory in the life experience. Suffering is optional. And it is that option that we're here to explore for ourselves, but not just for ourselves. And here's the other part of it: as I do this for myself, as you do it for yourself, as you do it for yourself, it helps those around you and all of creation. You're never, ever, ever working for the good alone. It's vital to remember that every good thing that ever has happened on this planet has come as a result of humans working together in a sustained way over time. Very few changes happened, however quickly they might appear, however brilliantly they might jump out on the scene all at once. Nothing wonderful ever happened just in that moment. It happened as a result of years and years of building in consciousness. And you can talk about Martin Luther King's famous "I Have a Dream" speech, and that was a radical moment in history, but it came out of decades of civil rights movement and centuries of people working against slavery. You can talk about the radical step of landing on the moon, but that didn't happen in that one moment that Neil Armstrong stepped from the rocket onto the Earth's surface, on Moon's surface. It happened over years of sustained exploration and scientific investigation. And so it is that this wholeness, this yesness that we are here to support ourselves and each other in is a sustained effort. And our being here this morning and remembering for this moment is good, it's powerful, and it's enough for now. There's an old Yiddish teaching story about a beggar who was sitting by the road year after year in the same spot begging. One day a stranger came to town. The beggar held out his cap once again. "Spare change, spare change." And the stranger says, "I have no spare change for you. But I have a question. What's that you're sitting on?" And the beggar said, oh, this box. I don't know, it's a box. I've been sitting in this spot for 30 years, just a box. "What's in the box?" "Well, I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's just a spot where I sit. Do you have any spare change?" And they said, "What's in the box?" "I don't know." "Why don't you see?" Well, the beggar got up, opened the box, and it was full of gold. Each one of us has a tendency to beg life for a little extra spare change. A new place to live, a new job, please, a new partner, please, a new way of seeing, please, a way more, can I please? And we're sitting on gold. Why spend life sitting on your assets? That's my question. I'm sticking to it. In that spirit, I'd like to invite you to join me in a little chant and a time of meditation. The chant goes very simply, Shema, Shema. Shema, 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 Shemaya. Shema is the ancient Hopi word for love and oneness and unity with all creation. Shema, 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 Shemaya. 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 With eyes open or eyes closed, I invite you to sink into the state of Shema. into the state of the one love. The deep connection with all creation calling forth the moreness in you and me now. To feel again our willingness to say yes to life. To surrender into this moment. To sink into the silence and welcome in the guides, the affirmations, the food for the journey. Peace, be still. And from this place of peace and power, you're invited to send forth your love and your blessing to those less fortunate, those who are suffering, whose homes have been burned, whose cities have been bombed, whose lives have been shattered. To send forth your blessing to all of creation. And feeling those blessings return to you, magnified and multiplied by your willingness to be an instrument of peace, of love. May you, may we, and all beings be blessed by our willingness to do this. And so it is. Amen.